So after nearly 13 years, I finally decided to center my rear axle with a Clayton adjustable rear track bar. If you want to see how the install went, stick around for the video. I don't know why, but when Jeeps get lifted, the rear track bar is seldom replaced. This is one of the most commonly overlooked upgrades. Now, it's not really just one upgrade that's overlooked. There's many, but two of the most commons are drive shafts. Come on, you know it's the truth. Admit it, you lifted your Jeep and you didn't swap the drive shaft. Just admit it. The other thing is the rear track bar. Now, most lift kits come with front track bars. It's not as common to do the rear. 12 years ago when I did my lift, I didn't change the rear track bar, and I've done lots of pretty aggressive trails and I'm still on the factory track bar. In fact, my buddy Danny on 40s is still on his OEM track bar. Although he did just swap it out for a rugged ridge. But it seems to be working just fine for him so far. Now, I spoke of my rear axle not being centered quite right. So passenger side was 16 1/4, driver's side is 17 and just under 17 1/4, so almost an inch difference. Now, even though my axles have a couple different spots for the track bar, I do like how it articulates in the top hole. It just seems to flex a little bit better in the top hole because of the way the geometry of track bar angles works. So even though my axle was offset, I still used the top hole. I think I probably could have fixed a little bit of the alignment by using the bottom hole, but like I said, when I tried it, it just didn't flex the same somehow. I don't know if it's just me, if it's all in my head, but that was just my experience. So I've decided to go with the Clayton Offroad adjustable rear track bar. The construction is, I mean, this is a heavy duty track bar. You know, I don't foresee there being any unwanted flex. It's got enough space for the pumpkin so I can, you know, swap my diff oil pretty easily. It's fully adjustable. It's got rubber bushings, so there's not going to be road noise. It's going to be nice and quiet. And hopefully it doesn't squeak, because I've got the TeraFlex up front and it's got that TeraFlex squeak, which really bugs me a lot on the trail. And, you know, you always get a few looks when you're, you know, articulating your suspension squeaks. Unlike the Clayton, which has a Johnny joint where the adjustment happens, many aftermarket bars have an adjustment collar. So I suppose the pro to this is you don't have to wrestle with your track bar too much to get it installed, because you can install it long and then just crank this down and shorten it. It makes adjusting it, well, a whole lot easier. But the downside is you do have an extra failure point. I mean, it's fine threaded, so it should have extreme durability, because fine thread has a lot more strength than coarse thread. And I suppose I'm maybe nitpicking here, but if you've got a lateral impact strong enough to strip these threads, I think you're probably going to have a lot more broken than just this adjustment collar. Either way, I'm kind of done with the TeraFlex squeak. So I'm slowly going to be swapping out my TeraFlex suspension pieces for Clayton's. And I'm starting with the rear track bar. I haven't removed this side of the track bar, like, ever. So if you're in the same boat, expect the nut to fight you just a little bit. PB Blaster for the win. So while the frame side soaks, let's hop over to the axle side. The only tools you'll need for this is a 21mm socket, a 21mm wrench, and a large torque wrench, which will double up as a snipe for that pesky frame side hardware. So when we compare these two track bars, I mean, first of all, we really can't compare these two track bars. You know, the factory one it weighs nothing compared to the Clayton, and the Clayton's like twice as thick. So yeah, this is it's surprising that this upgrade is so overlooked, but you know, at the end of the day, it's just the rear track bar. It's no big deal, right? Well, it's not a big deal until it is. But the next step is going to be to shorten this one by approximately 3/4 of an inch, put it in, and kind of see where the rear axle alignment ends up.
Keep the frame side hardware loose for now, as you may have to adjust the length. You may have to play with the axle height just a little bit to line up that bolt hole. Once both sides are in, put the full weight of your Jeep on axle stands so that it is at ride height.
The install went in perfectly. It was very well aligned, but it's not quite all unicorns and rainbows with this style of track bar, because I do still have to make a slight adjustment. The bar is just a tick too short, so I do have to lengthen it. You know, unfortunately, unlike the TeraFlex that just has an adjustment collar over here, with this one I do have to unbolt it and then rotate this one turn and then put it back in, and hopefully I can still slide the bolt in, which I can. And then I would have to once again remeasure my axle and make sure that it's centered properly. So that's the one downside to this style. Less moving parts, less failure points, but adjustability not quite as easy as the other style. Fortunately, you only have to do this once. So once you feel that you've got it pretty close at simulated ride height, do a measurement of each side at ride height. So the axle stands have the full weight of the vehicle on it. And I picked the same spot. Either frame rail is probably the best spot to take this measurement from. You can do the inner fender, but there might be some warping there, so it won't be 100% accurate. I measure mine right at the frame rail.
Once your axle is centered, torque the bolts to 125 foot-pounds. I can't think of a better way to test this track bar out than by running over 1,000 kilometers worth of trails in 4 months. After trips to Moab, Utah, 2 epic adventures to British Columbia, which included the Kootenays, the Chilcootins, and a run to Bella Coola, I feel that I gave this track bar a thorough test.
And so far, after Moab, the whole BC trip, and this one, the track bar has been behaving perfectly. Because it is thicker than stock, I do feel that it does hit my exhaust pipe a little bit more than the OEM one did. But in the coming months, I'm going to have all new exhaust put in anyways. So that problem is going to resolve itself. And that's no fault of Clayton's per se. Other than that, I have no complaints about it. It's been working perfectly, no squeaks, no rattles, nothing weird going on back there. And it's nice to finally have my rear axle perfectly centered. So if you like this video, click the like button, smash the like button, just do something with the like button, and don't forget to subscribe. In the meantime, I've got a mountain to climb. I'm out of here.